One of the very few high school simulator anime games that isn't revolving around some kind of fetish content or weird developer. Yeah, that's right, Sakura School Simulator. If you don't know what this game is, you definitely do. Remember that one dancing cat meme? This game is where that came from. Growing up as a teenager, I definitely played it a lot. However, one thing that I haven't really accomplished is finding out the entire game, exploring everything this game has. I know for a fact that this game is one of the most detailed mobile games out there. So please join me as I take your guys' recommendations to have a complete exploration of this game and just genuinely a better understanding of it. My go-to character has always been the same. I never change it unless I'm experimenting, but I always go back to this character design. And yes, my name is Oli Senpai. One of the main reasons why I chose the witch outfit all the time was because instead of a jetpack, you ride on a broom. That's so cool, in my opinion at least. My go-to activities on this game essentially are just messing around. I always go and pick up that motorcycle and recolor it to be a specific shade of pink. It's always gonna be that pink red. I promise you that. And just for the fun of it, I always go ahead and flirt with the mechanic. And then I head to school with the best motorcycle in town. Really, it's the best vehicle. I don't know why you would ever choose any other vehicle. I mean, it comes with rockets. Attending class, which is something I usually don't do. I'm only doing it for this video because honestly, it's so boring and I just can't sit there for that long. I gotta do something chaotic. I just wanted to show you what the school life is. In this case, by attending classes, you can level up your character's knowledge. This school has many different classes that you can attend and they all are on a working schedule, so it's perfect. The classes are really funny too. The teachers are just something else. Ah yes, high school. My favorite place in the city where I get to learn and make friends. And oh, excuse me. Who was that? He was just gorgeous. Another thing that I like to do in this game is date. There was one point in time where I was dating like everybody, but I always had a very specific special place for this guy right here. Ryuji, the boy from class 1, the boy that sits in the front of my class. Why yes, I do stalk him. How did you know? This game revolves around the Yakuza, which is, in general, a threat to everybody, including you. It's very easy to beat them if you're using the motorcycle that I'm very attached to, and after beating the boss, you earn some money and more weapons. And that's basically it. Well, actually, there's something else that I should mention, but we'll mention that later on.
Just kidding, we both mention it right now, Sakura.
Behind this epic door lies something absolutely unexplainable. Don't believe me? Let us see for yourself. Wow, this is really starting to look like Sori Sato. Are you sure this isn't a fetish game? JK LMAO, get wrecked. All jokes aside, I don't know why this is here. It's clearly a torture room, but I'm not sure why they need it. Lol, this is not MLG. Anyway, back to Ollie. Wait, did you see that? Let's take another look.
Another thing that I really like to do in this game is just cause chaos on the streets. I love to crash cars into other cars, which I know that sounds messed up, but try it yourself. It's really fun. Making people mad, denting the cars, making them fly. It's hilarious. From the fact that there are weapons in this game, yes, you can attack people. However, whenever you do hurt somebody, they turn into robots because violence for children is prohibited by store rules, meaning basically the App Store doesn't want any violence that can be exposed to children. Also, because it's a high school setting, you know the whole deal, right? You can actually turn this off in the settings if you unmark funny mode. So no, the robots are not a glitch or anything abnormal. And of course, how could I ever forget Bijou Mike? Yes, the YouTuber Bijou Mike is in this game. He's been in this game for as long as I can remember. I always tend to do his quests when I'm playing because it allows me to get some easy extra cash, which is to find all his scrubs which are scattered around his house, which is really easy because I remember where they all are. And of course, I go ahead and do every other thing in this game that is just fun, like the music club, eating at random restaurants just because I can, checking out a cat cafe, which is, I think, a newer feature because I don't remember it, and it's really cute. Overall, just going to luxurious places, even though I know my character cannot afford it, such as the palace, going to the amusement park just to ride the stupid rides, and last but never least, causing unnecessary conflict between random people and the police. I always found it so hilarious that the police cars will just run over anyone, even the other police. I told you everything that I always do in this game. Let's get on with something that I didn't do a lot because I didn't know existed. Starting off with the other Yakuza, the Yakuza. If you didn't know, means peaches. So whenever you go up to one of the Yakuza members, they say, "I love peaches," which okay, what do I say to that? The entire fight starts when you destroy one of their buildings. A bunch, and I mean a bunch, of Yakuza members will come at you all at once, and it's just absolutely way more difficult than the first Yakuza. Along with some cash that they drop after you take them down, they also drop a rocket for your rocket launcher. Once you take down a specific person out of everybody out here, you can go inside the building. It does not get any easier from here, but it's actually kind of fun shutting down alarms and taking down other people. Mind you, when I did this for the first time, I died so many times. I could not make it past like the few first levels. At the very end is where I died the most while making this video. The way the ending is that I'm kind of hidden behind a wall. So I always use this wall as an advantage to both hide and attack at the same time. But right when I thought I had it, I died. When I redid the whole thing, I died again, and honestly at this point I needed something to heal me in the process. If you didn't know, food in the game is one of the most easiest way to heal yourself. So I went to the convenience store and first I saw these weird moths and oh my gosh, I hate these moths. I'm sorry, I don't hate moths in real life, but in this game, they're so disgusting. These moths are part of a mission that you can accomplish if you take them all down. When I went to the cashier, I noticed that she hates me. She wants to purge me, and I don't know why. I don't remember what I did to her. I mean, hey, I saved you from those moths. I don't know why you're gonna hate me now. But anyway, I bought some sandwiches for my adventure and I went back to the Yakuza. This time, with the help of my sandwiches, I was able to defeat the entire thing and gained a new weapon, which is simply called Beam. It's essentially a infinite beam that you can use that doesn't require any ammo refilling, which is really cool, very helpful, definitely deserved after all of that nonsense. Since we got all that Yakuza stuff out of the way, let's talk about the characters. The classmates and just every other person in this game has such a funny way of communicating with each other, as they all have their own personalities. Some of them will just hate you if you do something that they just don't forgive you for, which I don't know why these people hate me. I don't remember what I did, but others will really like you and say hi to you. You can build really strong relationships with these characters, making your friends close friends or even your close friends into lovers. But what about the other characters that just kind of exist on the map? Let's start off with this one lady who claims that she is just absolutely broke. When we ask her for money, she gives us 1 yen, which confirms that she's pretty broke. Her name is Kazu, and a lot of people in the Sakura School Simulator fandom have made many theories of why she's broke. The only other place that you'll find her is on the very top floor of the tax office talking to one of the tax officers. My guess is that maybe she's in the tax office trying to configure her tax situation, something along the lines of that, of course, because she's in a tax office, it has to be tax related. But you know what, when I first found this character and I first saw that she didn't have any money, I thought that maybe she was just coming home from drinking and she just wasted her money on that. I think I just said that because her eyes were closed. I don't really have any other proof of that being true, so don't believe me. Similar to this, there's another lady who roams the streets and her name is Ayumi, and she always says ha haha whenever you walked by her, which is something I always found strange. I always wondered why she said that. At one point I thought maybe she was laughing at us, but I'm not sure why she would be.
Officer, I got a question for you. What are those?
Finally, the couple that you can find in the cafe as well as the amusement park. Assuming by their dialogue, it seems like they're trying to break up. Now let's talk about the building that causes doom for everybody who lives in this city. The tax building. Tax officers are openly very greedy with the money. This duo right here are basically arguing about reducing taxes, which is pretty comedic because they have animations, which it's so funny. Oh hey, the couple that's trying to break up is also here too. I didn't even know. Each of these rooms consists of a bunch of other tax workers having conversations regarding basically charging the citizens more and more as much as they can get from them. There's this really strange robot tax man, which by the way, don't attack this man. He will take all your money. All of these tax workers will take your money if you just attack one of them. It's actually so annoying. I try to avoid fighting these people personally. Another group of characters that I really wanted to talk about are the kindergarten kids, which look like grown men, by the way. They're basically Yakuza men, but in kid version, which is really strange to me. I mean, their names are member of Gumi, so maybe they're, I don't know, the kids of the Yakuza. I don't know. They seem really sweet at first, but if you attack them, oh my goodness, you are not getting out of there alive. They're so overpowered. They got like rocket launchers and stuff. Like, man, I died instantly. But anyway, I went back to school and I attended the gym class, which is this weird swan dancing, witnessed some funny conversation going on with the classmates, and to finish it off, of course, stalking my crush. Let's talk about the missions. Obviously, there are so many missions in this game, and I have not completed all of them, but to be short and sweet with it, I'm not going to accomplish all of these missions in this video because this video will be way too long. But I'm gonna be going over the missions that you guys suggested that I check out. When I clicked the UFO mission, a huge gold evil bear floating UFO thing appeared in the sky and started to drop these really weird looking machines with legs that attack me. I don't know how to explain this. What was the developer thinking when they made this mission? The octopus mission sounded disgusting, so I chose it, and it was basically just like a black ball in the sky that dropped little octopus. Again, it's nothing I can really understand or explain to you, but let's talk about the Chinese version of Sakura School Simulator. And yes, that exists. I didn't even know until somebody told me on my community post. Apparently, people like the Chinese version better than the other version. The reason being is that there are way more customization options. I haven't tried the Chinese version just because I'm too scared to download the wrong thing and like mess up my phone or something, which is pretty ironic because I used to download mods for one games, specifically Wolf Online. But anyway, from what I can understand, the Chinese version is basically the same game as the other one, just having slight changes. One thing about this game that is so cool is that there are so many locations that you can find. Some of these locations I didn't even know exist until I made this video. Let's just start with one of the ones that I always visit, the palace. I always go here and mess around with the helicopter and just in general pretend that I'm loyalty. Another really cool place that I visit often is the castle, which is similar to the palace but is a little bit different. It's more traditional. It could be confusing at times because it's pretty much a maze, especially at the lowest floor. Let me tell you, I went in this room and I couldn't find my way out. Overall, this castle is very luxurious and I often come here just for the little hot spring pool. The next location that I'd like to talk about is the classic amusement park. So many rides, so much fun. What else can you ask for? But I really hate these bears. Who's under the mask? Who's in this suit? To make matters worse, when you go in the little show place, they perform a little dance and assume that you're laughing at them, which by the way, I was, but how did they know that? And they start attacking you. Along with these weird bears, there's a little cat butler, which by the way, I got involved in the fight, because there's no way I'm gonna fight these bears. Because all the bears died though, I got an achievement, which I found really funny. After that, the cat butler hated me. Now let's talk about something a little bit more serious. So at the bottom of the ocean, there's a strange city-like structure. I saw it for myself, but I couldn't get in it because the game simply didn't let me. So I just went on YouTube. And looked up a showcase because I'm too stupid to figure out how to glitch in there myself. Here's a video by the YouTube channel YouChan of them basically breaking the barrier and exploring the place. A lot of it is just kind of generic structures that don't really have a clear idea of what they are. So there isn't really any use to this place yet, I think. This might be something for the future. But even so, this place is still used for creativity purposes like skits. Other people have found this place to be rather scary because you can't access it normally unless you glitch into it, and also because it's basically hidden from everywhere else. You'd really have to go deep into the ocean to find this place, and it almost feels like you're not supposed to see it or even be in it. But to basically just summarize this place, it doesn't really have a purpose yet. I personally think that maybe the game will have mermaids soon, and this will be where they live, considering that some of these buildings are basically houses without doors. But again, that's just my theory. Who knows what they're gonna do with this place. Now, speaking of strange places, I didn't know this place existed at all until my community post. Next to the live music club, there's this house on a hill that is rather isolated that you can't enter unless you glitch into it. So that's exactly what I did. I learned the art of glitching through walls. When I went in there, it was really weird. There was a basement hatch door and some weird like fridge thing. I don't know what this is. Also this weird sign, I don't know what that means either. I found that really scary. Honestly, I don't know why this fridge was scarier than the basement hatch. Anyways, when I glitched under this basement hatch, there was an entire basement. Well, with nothing in it, but it was still strange and weird to be in a place that you clearly cannot go in normally. It made me really wonder what this place was supposed to be, or if this was supposed to be part of the game but was just left there. In general, it's a really cool place to be in. I mean, I never knew this existed. I've also never been under the map like this before, so that was pretty cool too. Wow, Oli-chan, the way you beat up that waitress for getting my order wrong. You're very brave. I mean, I was just gonna eat the meal anyway. Oh, it's nothing, senpai. Anything for you. I had such a great time. We should hang out again. I gotta get back home. I gotta finish an essay due tomorrow. Oh, where are my manners? Let me walk you home. In what direction is it? No, it's okay, senpai. I can walk myself. You're busy. You should go home right now. Really? Are you sure? Yes, senpai. Just go. Just finish your essay. Well, if you insist. I'll see you later then. So dreamy. It was at this moment where I realized I was face to face with the quarry. It's kind of a universal thing for Sakura School Simulator players to avoid the quarry. For no specific reason, but just because it felt so empty and away from the city. Not to mention, you can find really weird stuff in the quarry like aliens, literal aliens that you can kill as part of a mission, and it takes forever to kill them, by the way, so we're not touching them. I also found this, I think it's new, I've never seen it before, but this heart building with nothing but couches in it. There's an empty slate of land that allows you to spawn in a very modern house, which I assume is just added for the players, whether they want to make skits or just simply live in it. If you haven't noticed already, the quarry has many different pathways that you can take, such as this one, which is a under construction road that leads to a tiny little police station. Going back on the quarry, taking another path will lead you to these weird caves. At first, these caves are well lit inside, but the more you go in, the more darker it gets. You can tell at this moment when I stopped moving, I was questioning if something was just about to run at me. I went through the cave very slowly, very cautiously, but I didn't find anything. The only thing I found was a way out, which was basically like a volcano opening. So I assume these are, I guess, volcano structures, but I don't even know. I mean, it might be something else that I'm too stupid to know about. The last thing on the query is basically at the very top of it all. I'm not entirely sure what it is, but I'm assuming that it's for vehicles, specifically motorcycles, just because there's so many ramps and these little bombs on the floor. One more thing that I thought I'd mention is not exactly at the quarry, but it's next to it. There's a log house with a hot spring, a bridge that looks so much like the Golden Gate Bridge, and there's a little freaking duck that you can drive, and it's so cute. The duck is next to 2 restaurants in which you can teleport to, and you can actually find the couple who's breaking up in one of the restaurants. The most interesting thing that I wanted to show you is this island. I never knew this was here. I don't think anyone mentioned this island on the community post. I just found it myself. There's nothing special on it, but I thought I'd show you. Did you know that this game can be personalized? That's right, every copy of Sakura School Simulator is personalized. I'm kidding, but you can actually put in a ID code so that you can have extra assets to your game. If you don't know what I'm talking about, take a look at this video. From an account called Mama Lovelish, you can see that they're entering a ID code. These codes essentially spawn in unique assets to the game that are not originally there. The ID that this person used basically simulates going to space, being an astronaut. Of course, there's many other different ID codes that spawn in different stuff, but this is one of the cooler ones that I found. Now, since we're talking about interesting details of the game, let's talk about the wedding. Obviously, there's a couple getting married at the church, accompanied with a crowd of people watching it that are saying nothing but doubts about their relationship. Now, I knew about this wedding, but what I didn't know is that the bride is a man. If you change the bride's outfit, the bride will basically take over the body of a man. And I don't think this was intentional. I think this is a glitch. But either way, it's really funny because it's so unexpected. This couple is so dedicated to their love. They'll start to attack you even if you simply just punch them. And you know me, I'm not gonna go down without a fight. I'm gonna kill him. Even though the groom had a whole rocket launcher, right before I knew it, everybody was taken down. Another day's work of teaching people never to mess with me. They could have lived long, beautiful lives. They asked for this. They asked for— hey, Raiju. What's up? What are you doing out here? Sorry if I startled you, but I just wanted to make sure you're okay. You're standing out here by yourself at night. Oh, me? You don't have to worry about me. Don't look behind me, by the way. Well, since I'm here, I figured I'd ask you out on a little date tonight. Is that alright? A date? Yeah. That's okay. Okay then, meet me at the cafe in a bit. Oh my gosh, this can't be real. I went back to my house just to find the perfect outfit for this date. When I was looking through my closet, I found this strange dress. It allowed me to change sizes, and I knew that I wanted to find out more about it, but I didn't want to wear it for my date. So I had no other choice but to put it on hold for the next day. The date with Ryuji— wait, what's his name again? The date with Ryuji went perfect. We sat down and ordered, and he even paid for my meal. I was having such a blast with him. He was also still carrying his school bag. Not because Oli couldn't figure out how to take it off of him, but everything was great, and after we ate, we talked outside for a bit. When I was staring into his beautiful eyes, I really wanted to go in for a kiss, but I just couldn't bring myself to. So instead, I parted ways with a hug. He walked me most of the way home, and I just couldn't stop thinking about how excited I was. Some outfits have little perks to them. For example, this police outfit here allows you to stop robberies. Going back to the Alice in Wonderland dress, we already know that it grows you and shrinks you. And when you grow, you run so fast and you can just kick cars into oblivion. One of the things that I found out by myself is that if you go to the amusement park, on one of the building's roofs, you'll find a little mushroom house. And if you enter it by growing small, you'll gain a small mist. Now, I didn't know what small mist is, so it was time to put it to the test. I went to my classroom and I placed the small mist on the floor, and everybody shrunk. I tried to be small with everybody else, but my camera was like glitching out really badly, so that was basically impossible. Let's move on to another interesting detail in the game, the sushi mart. When you enter this little restaurant, you have many different choices, but the very last one says Chef's Choice. When clicking on it, there's I think 2 possibilities that you can get. One being fish bones and a pile of wasabi. The reason why I mentioned these 2 things is because your character has the most funniest reaction to both of them, while the chef just kind of smiles at you innocently. A detail in the school that some players find odd is the robot in the teacher's room. I'm not sure like what this robot's purpose is. I tried to see what it does, but it just kind of stands there. It actually used to scare me a lot because I don't know, it just looks creepy. Turns out this robot is a bit of a wimp because if you start attacking it, it'll just run away and beg for mercy. But the thing that I find way more creepier than the robot is the monkfish. When you go to the cooking class at a certain time in the day, you get to experience cooking monkfish. But before you cook it, they're alive. It gives me the chills just rewatching this clip that I took. It literally goes on your head and I couldn't take it off no matter what I did. But it was only for 5 seconds and then they just die automatically. But I decided to rejoin the game so I can accomplish the mission of defeating 5 monkfish. They're just so disgustingly, like the eyes and the mouth. I don't know, it scares me more than anything else in the game. Anyway, another interesting detail is that you can find classmates at the amusement park during school hours. A lot of people think they're just skipping class and just having fun, which could be true, but there's another theory that goes along with these people, but I'll get to that later. Just keep these people in mind. Now we know that we can't enter most of our classmates' houses, but there's one person's house that we can enter that is so unexpected. Aoi's house, and I think that's how you say her name, right? Her house is basically the same as our house, just a little bit different and with a different color palette. She has some money laying around, which I totally didn't collect. I bring up this house because a lot of people think it's strange how she's basically the only side character's house that you can go into. I'm not sure why this is the case, but maybe it was just a feature that the developer was experimenting with or added it for fun. It doesn't matter too much to me because I never really go in this house anyway, but now that I know there's cash in there, I might be visiting more often. Now we know that we can carry and hold hands and hug other NPCs. We can also carry pets. But did you know that we can also hold their hands? This is something I found out by myself because why did they give us so many options for a pet? The ones that are just really cursed is the holding hand one, because when you do this, they stand on their hind legs and just stay like that. They don't even go back to their normal form. This is true for every animal in the game. It's really freaky. I mean, imagine this chasing you at night. This even works with the castle horse. This is just something else at this point. A lot of people think that it's weird that we can have this type of relationship with pets, even though, I mean, you can't kiss them and you can't date them, but just holding hands and having them stand like this, the most it is for me would be silly and also scary. I mean, look at this. Another thing that somebody mentioned on my community post that I never knew about is the fact that if you wear a pregnant lady dress, you can't get attacked, but you also can't carry weapons. You could only punch, but I mean, punching is still attacking. So if I technically could still attack, I wanted to try out the Yakuza with the pregnant costume. And guess what? It actually worked. They didn't attack me. Well, they tried to, and I'm just flying everywhere, but I'm not losing health. You know, I really wish I knew about this before I went and defeated the Yakuza, because that could have saved me a lot of time. But let's just talk about why this is. Obviously, it's wrong to hurt a lady in general, but especially if she's pregnant. I would say that it's universally agreeable that it's morally wrong to hurt a pregnant lady. I mean, have you seen the Jerry Springer have you seen the Jerry Springer show?
I slept with your friend.
You've hurt me in the past.
If I wasn't pregnant right now, I'd be you.
So no matter how you see the pregnant costume, I mean, I honestly see it as a cheat code. I think it's really funny and cool that they added that feature that you basically can't die when you're pregnant. Speaking of immortality, let's talk about the children in the game. There are 2 siblings that are called Mio and Yuta. They're usually found in the playground having fun, you know, like kids do. But when you attack them, they're basically immortal, at least to our character. But when you go and put them against the police, they can die. It's kind kinda weird. They will die depending on who's attacking them. Since we're on the topic of police, let's talk about the wanted person poster. Right outside the police station, you'll find two posters. The first one being about a woman, and the second poster about these two men. In a video, again made by Yu-chan, we can see that there's a theory behind this first woman, how she's a really bad criminal and is really rich, and her daughter being the girl in our class. Now they do look the same, I must say. I mean, the only image we have of the criminal is this, but again, this is just a theory. The second wanted poster will come up later on in this video, so I'm gonna save this topic for later. When the clock hits 17 at night, these weird alien things called shekers, and there's two rangers that are supposed to fight them. One of them is lost in the maze. It's part of a mission. It's actually called Help the Lost Person. I find it really odd that this is in the game. Like, they just spawn in at this time of night. Now, let's get on with our final interesting detail in the game. Hotel Cherry. Oh, okay, a hotel. Actually, it's a love hotel, but it's not blatantly a love hotel like freaking Yandere Schoolgirls Online. No, that was crazy. I still can't believe that's on the game. I mean, I guess you can argue that this hotel is just different and unique and it's not a love hotel, but you know, anything can happen in any hotel. So I'm not gonna say that it's a love hotel, but it just reminds me of one. This building has 3 rooms, the top being the coolest, I think, because there's literal water in the room, but in general, they're pretty much all the same with all the same features. I'm 99.9% sure that my first scare on this game was the skeletons in the waterways. I don't have a fear of skeletons, but when it's just in the game and it's chasing you and nobody else is a skeleton, so it's just out of the blue, it's very frightening. Not only do you find 2 skeletons down here, but you also find little things that you can collect, such as money and a love potion. Yeah, that's right, a love potion. I could really use this on someone right now. No, it's okay. I want the love to be natural. You get a trophy for both defeating the skeletons and making it out of the waterways. But I'm pretty sure I'm not alone when I say that these skeletons really scared me. Another thing that really scared people is the statues in the school. I had no idea that these existed. Yeah, I'm such a noob, I know, right? So I went to go look for myself, and yeah, there's statues in the school that come alive at a certain time at night. I noticed that the silver one wasn't as strong as the gold one, but I was still able to defeat both of them because I just spammed my weapon on them. This also gets you a trophy, which is really weird. This is part of the game. And you know what? On my way back, I saw a UFO in the sky. What the heck? You also get a trophy for shooting the UFO down. It was honestly kind of freaking me out because it reminded me of Goat Simulator, because Goat Simulator also has a UFO and like it's connected to whales, and I'm kind of scared of whales. Another thing that scared me playing this game was going through the highway and seeing that one girl float really fast through it. I tried to go and find her again, but I couldn't. I don't know why. Maybe I was looking at the wrong time. So I looked it up and I found a video by Jane Sky, who is basically keeping up with this girl in the highway. At first, I thought this girl was a ghost. I wasn't smart enough to catch up with her, so every time I saw her, I thought it was a ghost. But then I realized, oh, it's a jet girl, which is just a girl on a jet having fun on the highway. So it's never been anything paranormal. But I mean, you can't blame me for thinking it's a ghost, right? I mean, I'm sure a lot of other people thought the same thing. Now I know I didn't find the jet girl by myself for this video, but I think I found something way more interesting. I was going full speed into the coned area, but since I was going so fast, I glitched under the floor, and then I found this. A very ominous and liminal area that I've never seen before. Oh, it's just a quarry. I was gonna go back and try to find the jet girl again, but I realized that my game changed. The render distance of my game became darker, and I didn't know why. I know you can change this in the settings, you know, to make a purposely different atmosphere, but I didn't even touch the settings. So I was kind of confused why this happened. My only guess is because I was going so fast on the the highway. It glitched so that the darkness of the tunnels also applied to basically everywhere else. But still, it felt like freaking Herobrine was in my game or something. Now, this section was supposed to be about Jet Girl, and I kinda made it into something else. I apologize, so let's get back on topic. Next, we're gonna be talking about the eye in the sky. What eye in the sky, you may be asking? Well, I was asking the same question because there's sure as hell no eye in the sky. I don't see an eye in the sky. A good portion of the Sakura School Simulator fandom claim to see this in the sky, but I personally can't. So I looked it up and this is the supposed eye in the sky. No wonder I couldn't find it. I was literally looking for a literal eyeball. This is really easy to brush over. I always thought it was just a normal cloud skybox. Whoever was the first to mention this eye is so creative, honestly. I mean, you took cloud watching to a whole new level. I think the most requested thing that people have been telling me to talk about is the missing headmaster. Within the school, there's a room where you can't enter unless you glitch into it. When you look up, you'll see portraits of teachers. Most of these teachers are dead because their pictures are gray, but there's some in color. People say that the first two pictures are the Yakuza leaders. The third one is supposed to be the missing headmaster. One of the more popular theories is that the two men who are wanted did something to that missing headmaster, which would be the reason why he's missing. Another theory is that the missing headmaster is a criminal, so he just kind of went rogue, giving the illusion that he's missing, but in reality, he's just kind of hiding because he is a criminal. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I know that this is not just some stuff that people made up? How do you know there's an actual missing headmaster? Well, if you play as the cat butler and you go to your workers who are operating the rides, they will talk to you and they will say, you know, random stuff regarding the job and all that. But one of the things that really stood out was this lady. She asks, do you know the whereabouts of the former headmaster? He is missing, isn't he? Now, remember I talked about those students who are, I guess, skipping class to go to the amusement park? If you view the status of all of these students, you'll see that they're all from one same class. Class 3-1. So since nobody is in class 3-1 throughout the entire day, there's speculation around the idea that these students are looking for the missing headmaster. Now that's not confirmed, you know, whatever, but it kind of seems pretty interesting. I mean, what if they are? That pretty much sums up the information given to us regarding the missing headmaster. Now let's talk about one more thing before we get into the more serious stuff. You know how, like, everywhere you look in this game, there's a cat icon, or just cats in general? People find it really weird that this game worships cats. It kind of seems like the Illuminati of the game, you know? It's subliminal. It's everywhere. Within the shrine, you have options to buy or throw a coin for basically a fortune for your character. But within this shrine, there's also a cat god. The only notable thing that this cat god does is revive people. I don't think that this cat obsession is too weird because I know that in Japan, cats are usually seen as a sign of luck and fortune. So this fortune cat makes sense. I'm pretty sure that's what they're trying to convey in the game. Now, we're finally at the last section. Let's freaking go. So now we're gonna be talking basically about fan-made stuff. When you look up Sakura School Simulator anywhere, you'll see so many cool things and cool little skits and movies and music videos that people make. Sometimes they make these really cool characters. I mean, look at this one. It's gorgeous, right? Long story short, you know, so many people having fun with this game, having fun with pose mode and just, you know, making characters do funny stuff. However, despite this, there are still some people in this fandom that make things scary. And let me tell you, it's really cool. Take a look at this video here. Now, obviously, this person is getting chased by this weird creature thing. When it comes to Sakura School Simulator horror, it usually follows the character being chased or just seeing something in the distance that they don't know what it is. It's always accompanied by some creepy freaking music, so it just makes you feel on edge and just kind of makes you question if this is real. This one here, I think, is my favorite instance of horror in this game because it's not just simply following the character. It's kind of like glitching in and out, and it's really cool. I mean, I don't know how they did that, but it's one of my favorites, definitely. Now, I want you to remember something. Remember when I was driving in the little highway place and I glitched into this, green area, which ended up to just be the quarry? Well, I saw a TikTok video of somebody ending up in the same place but through a different method. In the comments of this video, people are saying that it's the back rooms, that it's the end of the game, that it's lost media, but in reality, no, it's not any of those. There was also one more comment that I saw pretty frequently, and they said simply Crow64. Now, I looked up Crow64 and it's a whole different game. Apparently, it just reminds them of the game, so that seems really interesting. If Crow64 looks like this, I gotta try it out, but that's for another time, another video. Unfortunately, this game has a very weird corner to it. And it's not the game's fault, it's the people who play the game's fault. Introducing the Elsa Gate of Sakura School Simulator, aka Sakura Gate. There are plenty of videos of this game that have suggestive thumbnails, such as this one here. I clicked on this video and nothing bad happens in the video. It's just the thumbnail that looks like this. Another instance of this Sakura Gate is this channel by the name of Sakura Daily Life. Their thumbnails are just bloody and gruesome and just weird. I mean, they include random characters from cartoons, and most notably, they show the children of Sakura School Simulator. You know, the characters, the two siblings. They have belly bumps. What does that indicate? And let me tell you, it means exactly what you think it means. These characters that are children are pregnant. And that's not the only weird thing that happens on this channel. There's a video where they show a character in like some type of cereal bowl and having the little girl eat it, and how this video ends is just her saying oh no, and that's it. Let me show you something that I saw that is just, I couldn't believe my eyes. On the same channel, there's a video where it's basically dedicated to Mio getting pregnant by a monster. This video is basically I can't even say it. Mio basically gets assaulted. It's just terrible. I like I said, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I know that this is not real life and it's just a game, but this is being shown to children and they're just normalizing this crap. There's other stuff on this channel like literal abuse. There's a good chunk of thumbnails that just have characters kissing, and all of these videos don't have a happy ending. They're all just devastating. Okay, now I just don't want to talk too much about this channel because it's so bad, but there are other YouTube videos similar to this and it's really sad. Another thing that I found that could apply to Sakura Gate is this short. The video is essentially two characters dancing and having fun, but at the end they make this really suggestive face. This face is also in the thumbnail, so they knew what they were doing with that. I saw like this really graphic birth scene too, even though it's not real. It's just, it put a weird taste in my mouth for sure. To make matters even worse, there's a video titled Mio and Yuta Get Married. They are siblings. Yuta and Mio are siblings. I don't know why. It's really weird, and even some people in the comments of this video say the same thing, like, hey, this is weird, they're siblings, what are you doing? I mean, what we've seen already, it was just poorly disguised fetish content. I mean, what else is that? We can try reporting these videos and such. I don't know if that would do anything because I definitely don't want these videos to continue to be shown to kids. So if you can, please report these also. And they are still going at it too. They're making videos. I'm sure that there's plenty of other videos similar to what I just discussed regarding this game. But before I keep talking about it, let's just conclude this video. Sakura School Simulator. One of the best mobile games out there, in my opinion. Very detailed, very interesting, very funny. It has never reminded me of Yandere Simulator, and that's how special it is. It doesn't have anything hidden that could really mess up someone like other games. We're not gonna talk about those, but you know, it doesn't have hidden fetishes or anything. I've never seen the developer or spoke to the developer. Obviously, I'm just some kid online, but if I were to meet them, I would thank them first of all for their work and just thank them for not being weird. Most of the time games like this end up being really weird or just are made by a really weird person. Regarding the game, I learned so much that I never knew before. I want to thank you guys because you guys helped me with this journey. You guided me through this video by leaving comments on my community post. It means a lot to me, so thank you so much. You guys about to get emotional here. You guys are awesome. I hope I covered the majority of the game and I didn't leave anything important out. And let me know what other games that you want me to explore. Before I go though, you might be wondering, well, whatever happened to you and that one guy? Well, to put it simply, we are living happily ever after.
Okay.